Hello and welcome to another episode of Unhindered Faith on this Motivational Monday. And today we are going to continue our conversation on the law of intentionality from John Maxwell's book, The 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth. You don't want to miss, so make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can follow along on this journey as we grow together. Hello, and once again, thank you so much for joining me, Wes Sheely, on this journey of personal growth and leadership development that's within us with Unhindered Faith. We are going to continue our conversation today and this week on Motivational Monday with the law of intentionality. And today we're going to talk about closing the gap. Everybody say this or type this in, closing the gap. John Maxwell's law of intentionality emphasizes the importance of taking deliberate action towards personal growth. In other words, instead of just hitting the target with our lives, what if we could say that we could hit the bullseye within our lives of personal growth and leadership development and developing the leader that's in you and that's also within me. One aspect of this principle is understanding and addressing our growth gaps. These gaps represent the disparity between where we currently are and where we aspire to be in terms of dreams, goals, and aspirations. There are six gaps, growth gaps, that John Maxwell talks about in his book, The 15 Laws of Growth. So let me number these out for you. Let me list these out for you. You can write these down. You don't want to miss these. You're going to want to go over these on your own time and figure out which ones that you struggle in because it will open up your eyes and start hitting the bullseye within your life. Here's number one. Number one is the assumption gap. The assumption gap. The people that are in this gap usually will have the thought or the saying, I assume that I will automatically grow. They say, I assume that I will automatically grow. What this means is that they will, they just go through life and just assume as they go through life or make mistakes that they're going to grow instead of being intentional and growing intentionally in their life. Number two is the knowledge gap. I don't know how to grow. I don't know how to grow. You don't move, you don't grow because you don't know where to start. So it's the knowledge gap. Number three is the timing gap. It's not the right time to begin. In other words, I'm too busy. I don't have enough time in my day to even focus on it. So it's the timing gap. Number four is the mistake gap. The mistake gap. I'm afraid of making mistakes. You don't take that first step because you don't want to make a mistake in that first step. So it's the mistake gap. Number five is the perfection gap. I have to find the best way before I start. This is usually the processors. We over-process things, so we tend to not take the risk. And so we sometimes get stuck in the perfection gap. And number six is the inspiration gap. This is where some people just don't even start. And that is, I don't feel like doing it. So identify our growth gaps is crucial for self-awareness and progress. They can manifest as skills we lack, fears holding us back, or limiting beliefs that hinder our potential. By acknowledging these gaps, we can create a roadmap for growth and development. setting specific actions to bridge the divide between our current state and our desired future. These growth gaps can impact our dreams, goals, and aspirations by acting as barriers to our success. They may lead to feelings of stagnation, or self-doubt, or missed opportunities. However, by recognizing and addressing these gaps head on, we can turn them into catalysts for growth and transformation. Think about that. To overcome growth gaps, we must first assess our strengths and weaknesses honestly. We must look in the mirror. We must look in the mirror and be honest with a self-assessment within ourselves. This self-reflection allows us to pinpoint areas for improvement and take proactive steps to fill those gaps. Seeking feedback, investing in learning opportunities, and embracing challenges are all effective strategies for bridging the divide and moving closer to our goals. So think about it. Are you willing to close the gap in your growth of being the leader that you are meant to be? Are you struggling in one of these areas, the assumption gap, the knowledge gap, the timing gap, the mistake gap, the perfection gap, or the inspiration gap? I want you now to consider this question. Ask yourself this question. What is one growth gap you have identified in your life? And what steps will you take to overcome it? Let me say that again. What is just one growth gap you have identified in your life? And what step will you take to overcome it? If you will, just take a moment, and in the comments, if you will just answer and just name what that growth gap is, and one step that you're willing to take to overcome that gap, to close and bridge that gap so that you can see the growth that's in you. Share your insights and action plan in the comments below, and let's support one another on our journey towards personal growth and fulfillment as we walk our life with unhindered faith.